Have you ever looked at your life and thought, is this all there is? We spend so much time chasing money, comfort, and happiness, yet contentment remains a moving target. Namaste, I'm Janvi Gauchan and you are watching Audiotale. Before we dive into the video, I want to take a moment to say a massive thank you to all of you. We have officially reached 16,000 subscribers, and your love for these ancient legends is what keeps the channel alive. While we still use the power of AI to recreate the epic scales of the Purans, we believe these heritage stories deserve a voice and a heart to guide you through them. Today, we're going back thousands of years. We're diving into an Indian ancient philosophy called the Four Purusharthas. It's not a religious dogma, it's a blueprint of a meaningful human life. These four aims are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. We're going to spend a few minutes on each one, not just what they mean, but seeing them in action through incredible stories from the Hindu scriptures. Ready to find a balance? Let's start with the first and the most important one, Dharma. So Dharma is tricky to translate. It's more than a duty, it's more than a religion, it's a righteous way of living. It's the ethical conduct that holds the universe, the society, and your personal life together. Think of it this way. Dharma is your role, your responsibility, and your truth. It is what you should do, not just what you want to do. A doctor's dharma is to heal. A student's is to study. To truly understand the power and the pain of dharma, we have to look at the Bhagavad Gita and the story of Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So Arjuna, one of the greatest warriors, arrives ready for battle. But when he sees his family, his teachers, and his friends on the opposing side, his resolve shatters. He drops his bow, completely paralyzed.
Mother, how can I kill my own people for a kingdom?
He cries out to his charioteer, who is none other than Lord Krishna. Krishna looks at Arjuna and speaks calmly.
Parth, you are not the doer, you are only the instrument. Your desire for peace has no place here. Your dharma as a warrior and a prince is to protect righteousness and uphold justice, even if it means fighting those you love.
So hearing that, Arjuna understands that his duty stands above personal emotion. He rises, takes up his bow, and chooses to fight, not for victory or kingdom, but for truth. But Dharma isn't just about grand battlefield choices, it's about holding on to a single truth in the face of total ruin. To illustrate the sheer and unshakable power of this commitment, let's look briefly at the legend of King Harishchandra, the ancestor of Lord Rama. Harishchandra made a solemn promise to the sage Vishwamitra that he would give him everything he owned. To uphold that single vow, he gave up his kingdom, sold his wife and son into slavery, and then sold himself to a man who managed a cremation ground. He underwent unimaginable suffering, all to uphold the single dharma of Satya, the truthfulness. Because he never broke his word, the gods eventually intervened, restoring his kingdom and granting him liberation. So the core lesson is Dharma often requires personal sacrifice. It forces us to act according to the eternal law, not according to temporary emotions. It's the willingness to endure pain for the sake of your principle. And if you neglect it, the entire structure of your life, your society, it just falls out of balance. So as we move on to the next goal, always remember, everything you achieve must be built on this foundation of ethical conduct. Now let's get practical. So if Dharma is the moral rule book, Artha is the practical reality. Artha simply means wealth, security, economic prosperity, and the resources you need to live comfortably and fulfill your Dharma. The job you work, the bills you pay, the stability you build for your family. But Artha must be acquired through Dharma. It must be honest wealth. Look, ancient wisdom is not telling you to live in poverty, okay? Quite the opposite, actually. It recognizes that you can't be an effective member of a society, support your family, or have the peace of mind to pursue spiritual goals if you are constantly struggling for survival. A great example of the pursuit of righteous Artha comes from the Ramayana, specifically with Lord Rama and his dedication towards his kingdom. When Ram finally returned to Ayodhya after his exile, he accepted the crown. And with it, he accepted a deeper responsibility. His entire rule is an example of Artha acquired through Dharma. He wasn't simply seeking power, he was seeking the resources and authority to establish a kingdom based on justice and prosperity. He instituted fair laws, protected his people, and ensured the stability needed for his citizens to flourish. Ram's pursuit of kingship and Artha wasn't selfish. It was a commitment to using resources to elevate the standard of living for everyone, making it possible for his people to pursue their own Dharma, Kama, and Moksha. Now, for a softer side of Artha, consider the beautiful tale of Sudama, a poor Brahmin, and his childhood friend Lord Krishna, who was now the wealthy king of Durga. Sudama finally visits Krishna after decades, bringing nothing but a small pouch of stale, dried rice, the only Artha he could afford. Seeing the purity of his friend's heart and devotion, Krishna joyfully accepts the humble offering. Later, Sudama leaves Durga with nothing, but upon returning home, finds that his simple hut has been transformed into a beautiful palace. And this isn't just magic, okay? It illustrates that when you live a life of sincere and pure Dharma, Artha will often follow, blessed by grace. It shows that the true value of wealth is less about what you have and more about the purity of the heart giving it. If Dharma is the path and Artha is the fuel, then Kama is the joy of the journey. Kama is pleasure. It is love, intimacy, the music that keeps us calm, the art our eyes cherish, the feeling of sun on your skin, the taste of delicious food. It's the enjoyment of the beautiful world around us. Now, our first scriptural example of Kama comes from the snowy peak of Kailash. Shiva was deep in meditation. The gods needed to rouse him, so they sent Kamadeva, the god of desire, to strike Shiva with his arrow of love, hoping to awaken him towards Parvati. When Kamadeva shot his arrow, Shiva was disturbed and in a fit of fiery rage. He opened his third eye and burned Kamadeva to ashes. However, the story doesn't end there. Parvati continued her penance, demonstrating her dharma of devotion and dedication, and tapas or self-control. It was only when Shiva recognized her discipline and commitment that he finally accepted her as his consort. But Kama can also reach a purely spiritual height. Okay, to show this profound spiritual expressions of joy, we turn to the beautiful garden of Vrindavan, the Raslila of Lord Krishna and the gopis. This is often misunderstood as worldly pleasure, but it's a powerful allegory. The gopis represent the individual soul's intense, selfless, and ecstatic desire for union with the divine. Their dance is one of pure, unadulterated joy and love, which is the highest form of Kama because it is fully directed towards the divine. Our ancient philosophy is shockingly clear. Pleasure is a necessary and legitimate goal of human life. You are meant to be happy. The takeaway here is that joy is essential, but discipline is the key to lasting joy. Enjoy the beauty of life, but don't let temporary pleasure become your master. And finally, we arrive at the ultimate aim, the goal that gives context to the other three. Moksha means liberation, freedom, or release. It's the transcendence of the cycle of birth and death, suffering, and the realization that your Atman or deepest self is connected to the Brahman or absolute reality. It is the state of permanent, unshakable inner peace. Think of it like this. If you play the game of life successfully, meaning you've established your pure dharma, gained righteous artha, and enjoyed balanced kama, you eventually realize that all those achievements are temporary. And moksha is the realization that you are not your duties, your money, or your pleasure, but you are the awareness that observes them all. Our story for moksha is the profound story of King Janak, the father of Sita in Ramayana. Janak was a powerful, wealthy king as he mastered Artha and performed his duties flawlessly, mastering his dharma. Yet, he was famously called a Raja Rishi, or a king sage. Janak ruled his massive kingdom with perfection, but his mind was so detached that he was said to be in a constant state of meditation. There's a famous story where he was told his capital city was burning. He simply responded, "If Mithila is burning, nothing that belongs to me is burning." His kingdom and possessions were his tools, not his identity. He had found moksha while living an intensely active life. He proved that liberation isn't about running into a cave, it's about shifting your internal perception. So there you have it, the Four Purusharthas, the ancient blueprint for a human life. So the point isn't to choose just one, it is to harmonize them all. Use dharma to guide artha, use artha to sustain kama, and use all three to prepare your mind for moksha. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, which pillar in your life is the weakest? let me know in the comments below which Purusharthas you feel like you need to focus on most right now. And if this video helped you find a little more clarity, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into ancient wisdom. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.